Jake, so here you're playing. What are you playing? All right. Hello and welcome back to another week of Tuesday Night Dungeons and Dragons, or Devils and Demons. I am your host and DM, Danny. We're going to be running through Descent into Avernus using the Adventures League rule set. Now we're going to go through our lineup of incredible players, what remains of them. So starting with Josh.
My name's Josh. At Cleric Cannabis is my social media handle. I'm playing Calvin C130, and he is a Aasimar cleric, light cleric. I'm the only one that survived this absolute disaster, this shit show, and I'm absolutely fucking shell-shocked right now. So I'm going to go ahead and lead my session off with a massive dab because I, at this point, don't really know what the fuck is in store for us. That's all I
Nice
have.
work. And yeah, next.
Is who?
Laura.
Laura, are you there?
Oh, hi. Sorry. I was pressing the wrong key because I am a smart person. My name is Laura. I was playing Yash, who was a cleric and fought valiantly, I want to imagine. But now I'm going to be playing a new character who you will get to meet soon.
Excellent. Next on our list is Cindy.
Is your
Can't
push
hear
to
you.
talk on?
Is it working now?
I promise.
All right. Hey, so my name is Cindy. I am Priestess 710. I am playing Maloom with my bestie, my tail Coda. I am a tiefling bard who is currently dead. So there's that. And you know, it's kind of dark here.
Are you going to hell?
Even worse than one.
I don't know.
All right, next, not last, but next we have Amber.
Hello, I am Amber. I am playing legally distinct but exactly the same Sherman. He looks exactly the same. Do we have a session question?
We do not this week.
Well, Sherman's feeling great. And that's it for me and Ginkgo. Please stop trying to lick my face.
Lastly but not leastly.
Wait, I thought Amber was last.
Then when would you go?
I'm leftovers. I'm nothing. Nobody. Just
Oh,
a character.
no.
Let knows who is now
Don't say that.
a pile of necrotic
As you're
ashes.
building your character.
But don't tell them the secret. No, I'm not here. I'm just I'm behind the curtain. Pay no attention to that man. Yeah, Cook. I'll be playing a new guy because Vectos is dead.
We have a special surprise for later. Yes, of course. Yes. Now we
It
should
was
address this.
surprise.
There, last week they had delved deep beneath the bathhouse, the strangely well furnished and refurbished bathhouse. The new ownership has taken great care in restoration, and this specific location, beneath which is this sewer complex. The new ownership which has been rumored and now confirmed to be a hideout for the cultists of the Dead Three, Bane, Ball, and Merkel. The which new newly risen gods, well, resurrected gods, so to speak, because they're never really gone, that are wreaking havoc across Baldur's Gate. You were all conscripted by the Flaming Fist to investigate these cults and followed up on these leads, ending yourselves down here. After a couple skirmishes and bay nights, delving deeper and deeper, ended up walking into a room occupied by Flennis, the Master of Souls, and her skeletal rat cadre. A necrotic fireball and some necrotic burning hands later, and only one remained, as Flennis was determined to remove Calvin from the face of this earth with a mace. In a very harrowing duel that got down to the single digits, Calvin ended up blasting Flennis with a guiding bolt into the next life, standing alone victorious in this dungeon. As the dust that remains of Flennis settles, you're looking around this chamber and seeing just yourself standing. You see Vectos out in front with wounds around his neck. You see Sherman kind of curled up, somehow smaller in his armor. Yosh behind you, and as you turn all the way around, perhaps the hardest thing to see, as Malum lies still. As you are taking all this in, Calvin, you are breathing very heavy, and as you kind of focus, trying to take a deep breath to clear your mind, you're controlling your breaths, and as you're focusing so intensely on in, out, and you're realizing that that's not the only breath you hear in the room. You turn around again. Center of the chamber, seemingly admiring the corpse laid out on the altar towards the back of the room, you see a figure in robes, tattered, faded black robes, as the figure's not facing you. It kind of seems to be investigating the altar. What would you like to do?
Bonus action healing word myself.
Mm-hmm. And as you do such, in the light of your candle,
It's important to remember that I have 1 hit point.
The figure, this guy catches their attention. As they turn to face you, you see that their skin has been pulled taut across their bones, unlike anything you've ever seen, but there still seems to be life within their eyes. Not life, not unlife, but some sort of malevolent sentience that seems to peer through you. And a feeling that you're in the presence of a great and terrible power. And as this figure turns to look at you and speak, and looks like his gaze locks with yours, and then looks down at Flennis. It appears you've made work of my acolytes. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
Well, they fought bravely, as did my friends. This wasn't our intended goal, but nonetheless, it appears that this was the conclusion. I don't know what else to say. You appear to be rather powerful, so I'm not really sure what kind of position I even have.
Then you're smart as well. And he takes a step forward to look at Evectos, whose body was shriveled and like drained of all like semblance of life from that necrotic burst. You are different. You do not wither. Why is that?
Well, not a lot of people know this, but I have holy blood in my body. We keep it secret from my father, but I was not born of his blood. I was born of a different encounter that my mother had. That's why I do not share their shared blood.
Scandal.
You see a slow and terrible grin begin to creep across this figure's face. They take a step towards you. They're about 8 or 9 feet away at this point. Roll me a religion check with advantage. Excellent. So you know that the aspect of Merkel appears very similarly to this, an emaciated figure in darkened robes. You believe you're speaking to a mouthpiece of the owner of the altar at the back of this room. And with that check especially, you know that Bane, Ball, and Merkel were much like you once. Adventurers. People searching for power, and they found it. Ascending to godhood in the most terrible of ways, before they were struck down many, many, many years ago for their return recently. And he takes a step forward. Well, divinity is rare these days. I seek to know much, and I could learn much from you and yours. Flennis knew much. She will be a great addition. And he steps closer, so not just you and like Flennis's body between you. He reaches down, and as his hand extends towards Flennis, you see the skin begin to rot and peel away from her skull until nothing but the skull remains as his hand touches the top of it. He plucks it from the spine and seems to ponder it for a moment as you see blue flames begin to lick the inside of the skull. There is much I could learn from all of you, but you are special. What if I could take some of that from you? I could return your allies. Just seek to know what you know. Just take a bit of your shine.
So you would trade my divinity
A
for
portion.
the lives of my friends?
He looks at the corpses and seems to calculate in his mind for a moment. Yes, this is something that must be freely given. This I can do.
So I'm judging by the condition of Yosh and Avectos that you're not going to be able to resurrect them.
I can try, at the very least.
All right. I want to make a deception or an insight check to
Yeah.
see if he has any truth to what he's saying, or if he's just absolutely fucked. Take it, I'd probably put that normal.
You still have advantage from your candle.
Okay. I'll just hit.
15. Yeah, you see hunger behind the eyes of this figure. You do believe that if there was something that this figure truly wanted from you, they would just take it. This is something that you have to willingly give. And they seem on board. You're not getting, they're hard to read, but definitely this feels like a trade.
All right. Lich creature thing.
He chuckles.
I really have no choice, I don't think. Either way. So you're either going to kill me anyways, or you're going to help me do what you say. And so either way, I guess I have to put some faith.
Yes. He is, follow me. And he steps towards the altar. With every step he takes, you see the corpse that's on top of it begin to rot and disintegrate away until when you approach, the altar is clear. Place your hands upon the altar.
All right, so I step forward and I do as such.
Now I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. This will only hurt a lot.
With advantage?
Yes, because the candle's still lit.
5 minutes off.
9. Okay. And yeah, you feel this cold skeletal hand at the back, like in your back, right in the center of your chest, like in the center of your back, and this cold, racking pain shoots through your body. You lose your vision for a moment, and you steel yourself, trying not to cry out, but by the gods, you scream. And it seems to last an eternity. But an indeterminate amount of time later, it seems to end. And your vision slowly comes back as you hear this dark chuckle behind you. Turning, you see this figure is now visibly invigorated. There's a little more color to this pallid figure as he's now grinning. Thank you for your sacrifice. And he walks over to Vectos's body and reaches down towards Vectos's head and says a few words. And without any strain or effort, you see a spell being cast. And we flip to a vision of what Avectos soul is up to in the afterlife. What is Avectos' reward, Cook?
You see a Vectos standing in the crow's nest of a pirate ship, hanging off the edge of it, yelling at somebody. Somebody yells back up at him on a pirate ship that is floating on a cloud. However, though, it is not a flying pirate ship, so they are falling through the cloud. And that is Vectos right now.
Beautiful. In this moment, you feel the wind whipping against your face, warm sun, and your own ship, a feeling of just contentment. And you feel an icy hand trying to pull you back. You begin to feel sick to your stomach as you begin to remember flashes, images of a dank sewer dungeon, cultists, necrotic bursts of magic, horror. Would Vectos want to go back to that?
No, fuck that. I'm on a pirate ship falling through the sky. Who wants to be in a sewer?
Exactly.
This is the life.
And after a long moment back in the dungeon, nothing happens as this figure chuckles. Shame. And shakes his head and C1, you know that resurrection requires a willing soul. You think your friend has found peace. And in a way. Yes. And as this figure removes their hand, similar to Flennis, the skin begins to peel away from Vectos' skull until just the skull remains, and the figure plucks it from the spine, places it in the depths of their robes. They move next to Yosh, stooping, reaching for her head, and you flash to another image of the afterlife in the upper planes. What is Yosh's eternal reward?
That's your Bob Marley background music. I'm sorry.
Yes, thank you. That is exactly correct. If you think that he's doing anything other than just blazing it, then you are wrong. He is having a good time. Just the air is so thick with smoke. You can barely see like 5 feet in front of you. He's happy. He's having a good time.
Beautiful. And similarly to all that, you feel an icy hand trying to pull you from this place. You have images of that same burst of black fire and the unceasing gnawing of skeletal rats. Is that something your character would like to go back to?
Yash sees this, considers it for a second, and then he thinks, nah, I'm not vibing with that. And he just takes another hit.
And we jet back to the dungeon where this figure collects a second skull. And next moves to Sherman.
I'm gonna start getting a little nervous here. Like I got swindled.
Yes. And
Swandled.
as he reaches down towards Sherman and reaches for his head, what is Sherman's reward?
When you say reward,
What is Sherman doing in the upper planes?
fretting?
Huh?
Mostly, like I feel like Sherman's debt to society has been long and storied, and he was finally like, man, this is great. Nicely in my middle age, I can finally rest and not have responsibilities. So he was just kind of enjoying that for a little bit. Because there's hell, and then there's having to take care of your parents until they die. Two very different things.
Goddamn.
Excellent. So, with that, you feel this cold presence trying to pull you back to the material
Dang it.
plane. And you think about your work yet unfinished. Yes, there will be a time for rest, but you know, deep Sherman, that you've not earned it yet.
It's true, I have aunts and uncles that also need geriatric care.
So do you accept this cold hand?
Yeah, I take it. I'll take the hand.
Excellent. As Sherman breathes in a gasping, shuddering breath as the cavity that the undead rats made in your chest fills again with vital organs, and your heart begins to beat.
I'm stoked, and I am very strong.
Yeah, you weakly begin to struggle, and as you come to your senses, Calvin, a minor stroke of relief kind of runs through your thoughts, as at least that worked. As the figure moves lastly to Maloom. You instinctively take a couple steps forward as the figure approaches the body and reaches down, kind of pausing around the horns and then moving through them, reaching for the head. What is Maloom doing in their place of rest?
She's just kind of sitting confused and in a dark place. She's not really aware of what's happening.
Yes. Maybe not. There is a place where these souls go, unaligned or not strong of faith. A sort of limbo where they dwell till they forget who they are, who they were, what they're doing, and are added to the wall of the faithless to exist until they don't. Maloom is in this space, in the blackness, and you feel a hand reaching for you to pull you back to the land of the living.
Coda kind of pulls me back, like grabs onto the hand, which gives me the feeling like maybe I should kind of grab onto it too. And I kind of coil my tail off of the hand and reach my hand for it and grab onto it.
Okay. And you follow this feeling of cold as you pulled out of the darkness into a darkness you can see into as your eyes flutter open, landing first as they open on the dungeon ceiling, and there's a figure standing over you. What we saw moments before was as Maloon begins to shudder as the spell completes, the figure turns to look at C1 one last time, grinning, and vanishes. So C1, as you rush forward, you're the first thing Maloon sees as she opens her eyes.
Maloom, Coda, are you okay?
I just start crying.
I pick up Maloom. And then
And
I walk over to Sherman.
Yeah, I kind of
How's
grip onto
Sherman?
C1.
Sherman is now, you now come to your senses, Sherman. You kind of, there's like a popping noise, like somebody like presses like one of those buttons on the top of a jar as the chest plate is like, the dent is pulled out, or Sherman's like, I'm like fiddling with the breastplate. It's like a loud
There we
popping
go.
sound.
Because there's not a lot of flesh back there.
Sherman looks a bit more full as you see some of the down feathers are sticking out of the breastplate.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I need to get some new fetties that aren't soaked in blood. It's fine.
Closing the door behind you instinctively, and you're able to take a short breather and rest for a moment within this chamber as you contemplate. But one thing you do notice that terrifies you, C1, is the footprints that lead from the altar around the room to where Maloom was laying. It wasn't a vision. It wasn't an aspect. You realize how close you came to true evil. As the gods are alive, and the dead three walk the streets of Baldur's Gate.
Oh, so even though it was like a humanoid, they were leaving way bigger footprints?
Yes. You believe that you just met Merkel.
Oh, shit.
In their new, yes, you're aware that in their new form, they can be killed. They are. That's why the gods don't come down here in these aspects. But these three, you're now realizing the scope of the problem this city has. The reason the cultists are so powerful here is their gods walk among them. So mechanically, those of you who were just raised are back as if you'd long rested. C1, you may take a short rest. And we'll move on in a moment from there. So let me know when you're ready.
All right.
Can we just have a moment? Like
Yes, yeah.
just
So yeah, well, while settling, you can talk.
sad, like a sad moment. Like this is really upsetting. I mean, I lost someone who was becoming a really good friend to me. I can't believe Yosh didn't come back.
I know. I'm pretty sad Avectos didn't come back either. I'm gonna miss him.
I know we had big plans on a ship. I mean, he was gonna show me all kinds of things, and this is
Well, they're probably Yosh is packing Avectos bulls and they're sailing to some ship somewhere in heaven high as fuck. That's all we can hope. As you guys
I can
know,
only hope.
you have to be willing to come back, so they must have been happy. But I appreciate you guys not giving up on coming back. I think we have to see this through now for them.
I kind of turn around because I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't want to tell anybody that I was just in a dark place.
So when you turn around, I kind of gripped Coda, and I'm like, look at Coda. It's going to be a tough time for her. I know you're the strong one, so you're going to need to be here for her and take care of her. I really need you to step up this time, Coda. You can't be
Not like last time.
absent. You can't be an absent friend right now. You need to really be there for her. Do you understand?
My tail coils around your wrist and tightens like as if it was like a snake would kind of coil around and kind of like tighten its grip. My tail kind of does the same thing around your wrist.
All right, I'm gonna take that as like a handshake. I'm like, thanks, Coda, and I pet the top of your tail, and I wait for it to untangle before I put my hand away.
I continue to walk away.
So sweet.
All right.
Okay.
So, okay, guys, where do we go from here? What? Okay, let's get a lay of the room again, please, Danny.
Yes, of course. So the chamber you're currently in is
Is
partially
it
collapsing.
available? Is it available in Roll20 and I'm just a muppet and can't see it?
Oh.
Yeah,
Are you zoomed
does that
out?
work?
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
You go snapped in there. So that's the
Mhm.
chamber you're currently in. It is partially collapsing. There's a scorched wooden table with the cadaver, the kind of makeshift altar where the cadaver was before it was moved away. The corpse of Flennis, Avectos, and Yosh are all headless in this room. Additionally, you came down here from the north through that hall. There's an exit to the east that curls down continuing towards the east with two doors. There's one door to the south, and that passage to the east curls upwards to another door, up some steps.
All right.
Didn't we come from the
The
north?
north, yes.
Okay.
So you've not gone to the southern passage yet, but there's another one that leads out towards the east.
Cool
Did
tip.
we pick the wrong passage or what?
Something like that.
I
Something
think
like
you're
that.
supposed to milestone in the other passage. This is the kind of shit where you go back to your save game and be like, oh, fuck, I went the wrong direction.
Yeah, we went the wrong way. They weren't holding our hand. Tried to cut through some mountains. Didn't work.
Cindy and I pretty regularly do this in a Neverwinter. Like in that game, you
Yeah.
take a wrong turn and all of a sudden you're in some hairy ass shit and you
Yep.
get one shot and
It's
you're like,
terrible.
oh, okay, that's the wrong direction. Let's go to the, let's keep, we'll find the right direction when we figure out what way we can go where we don't instantaneously die.
Only problem is that when Danny comes at you, it doesn't show you bright red letters.
Does that with his
Signify, like,
voice.
To signify the
Little
level
skull
of
icon
threat
pops
that is
up.
happening here.
Yeah, exactly. When we peeked in the fucking room, it's like, oh, dude, there's 3 skulls above the top of that one. Come back when we're higher level, dude.
Yeah, we're talking about an orange and red room. We should probably walk out of here. Let's go.
Let's see.
All right.
Okay.
So we can go into this other passage, right?
Yes.
Above me.
That's where you came from. That's where the altar of Bane was, and that's where the you see just on the other side of the door is a very withered, crisped up corpse of the noble that was in that room.
Oh shit! Hold on.
Oh.
I forgot you got to do this kind of stuff now. I want to search the corpse of Flennis.
Excellent.
Oh.
You find her silvered flail. That's probably worth a pretty penny to a collector. And as you pick at it, you're pretty sure the skull is real. You also find a dusty spellbook of black leather with a tiny skull-shaped locking mechanism. A thorough search of Flennis, the kind of not necessarily Flennis, but the ash where her head used to be, reveals a key that was probably hidden in her hair. That what goes to the spellbook. You also find a pouch with various coinage.
All right. How much coinage does it matter? Do we don't have to calculate that right now? Or you just calculate it for us? Okay.
Up at the end.
Okay. So we take all of that stuff. I take the key and put it around my neck. On like a small leather cord. I'm sure I'll be able to pull off of something of mine. And throw the spell book into the backpack, and I put the flail on my waist unless anybody else wants to carry it. And then, is there anybody else's corpse in this room that we can search? And can I search? We search in like the back and the rubble around the altar, like we give it a good old like second edition
you
treasure
give it
hunt.
the best you can. That's pretty much all that was in here. There's innumerable rat skeletons, if that's more your speed. You search their tiny pockets. You find tiny silver coins. You're like, how did they have loot? Somehow.
All right, I want to make sure I get all the silver rat coins so that hopefully next time I can bribe the plague rats with the rat coins.
There you
So
go.
I'm
Now
gonna
you're thinking.
go
Now
ahead and
cook with
I
peanut
want to
oil.
write that down. Okay.
Rat bribery.
If those rat coins are real, I need some so I can bribe the stupid ass mice in my trailer not to eat the dog food. Anyways,
Everybody, invest in rat coin now. Buy.
So, all right. So now that we've got all of that gear, how does like detecting if something is magical work in 5th edition? Can you Arcana check to see if something is in magical nature, or is it just straight detect magic, or how does that work?
So check magic is your best bet. If it's an object itself, you can Arcana check it for runes or something like that to get a vague idea, but you won't get specifics without to check magic or identify.
Gotcha.
Do you want
So
to
identifies.
Arcana check the mace?
Yes, I do.
Okay, yeah, roll an Arcana check. I would also take religion if that's better for you.
Much better.
20. Yes. So you are like, vague things. You know that followers of the Lord of Bones, Merkel, have abilities to use people's skulls or parts of their body to create these objects like these. Then they're able to channel them and use the trapped souls within for various uses. If you talk to like a cult expert or something like that, you probably get more details. But you know that they use these silver skull flails to trap spirits and harness their various energies for power, secrets, personal gain, various things.
Okay.
But there's a lot of
Well,
arcane
somebody
components.
else.
It's silver plated. There's a lot of bits and bobs that probably go for a lot if you sold it to a collector.
Okay, someone else. So okay. So to be clear, it's a silver flail or a silver mace?
Flail. The
Okay,
skull hanging
because
from a
before
chain.
you were saying it was a mace.
Oh, I'm sorry. My misspoke. It's in our little art, I think. There's yeah. You also know that that little glow that's in there. That means there's probably a soul in there currently. Which you could free it by you probably some sort of protection or warding spell against evil, or holy water might do the trick. But that's you're realizing that there's someone in there.
We're gonna have
So
to
you might want to
address
hang on
that
to this and
later.
you can find an expert.
Yeah, we'll address that later. I'm not using it. Nobody's using it. It doesn't matter because mechanically, Maloom and Sherman can't use it, correct? Well, mechanically speaking, all three of us can, because we couldn't utilize the magical item capability. They lost their slots, and I already have a magical item.
Oh no, it's not. It's not like an unlockable magic item. It's.
I understand.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, cool. So we stash it and continue on.
Yes. So yeah, there's the first door you come to is the one leading directly south. That passage has stairs leading up to the east that go to another door.
Okay. Come on, Maloom.
So do we want that door? Do we want to keep going down the stairs?
Okay,
Sorry.
so from here, where have we gone? And I couldn't recommend more clicking on your character and using the arrow keys. Like Amber just changed my fucking life with that.
It is so much better.
Yeah, I think everybody should be doing that because it makes everything move so much faster.
Wait. Okay, so I gotta
You
move.
click on your guy, and then you
Uh-huh.
use your little arrow keys and to move your guy as opposed to like dragging them all over the place.
Yeah, so the first door you come to is a kind of heavier set door. It's not swollen shut, so you think it's probably not flooded in that chamber beyond, unlike a lot of the doors here. So you think that door beyond is it's not water. Sorry, it's not flooded with water. So really so here's a good point after that wonderful experience. Setting up protocol. So do you want someone stack up and listen against the door for any sounds beyond?
Yeah, we're gonna actually like dungeon crawl this and not fucking Rambo it anymore.
Smart.
We'll be careful. Put
So
our
whoever
hand on
wants
the
to
wall.
be in the front there, roll a perception check as you listen at the door.
Oh, hold on, let me turn my advantage off.
Yeah, just snuff the candle out. The first one is still a 15. That's very good. So you hear something. You hear movement. It doesn't sound like footfalls, or it could be an animal or something small, kind of skittering more than walking. But there's definitely something back there.
Okay, so what do you guys want to
Okay.
do?
Did we check if the door is trapped? And
Your only investigation check.
oh, here we go, Sherman. Your very strong
I'll
investigation.
make y'all macro later that just auto rolls all the things you do for a door. Looks completely fine.
It's not a perceptive boy. Oh
Yep.
Lord.
See,
Looks
you're
good to
convinced
There
it
you
probably
go.
is trapped. You're positive it's trapped. There's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
You're not sure if you're paranoid,
mean-
but you just get the wrong feeling about this door.
This whole area gives me a wrong feeling. I died here yesterday.
Coda, what do you think about the door? Do you think it's trapped, Coda?
Okay, is it working now? All right. So I want to also kind of take a look around and see if I see anything since I'm right behind Sherman.
Yep, looks fine.
I don't see anything wrong. I say we try to figure out how to get in.
Okay.
Open the
So,
door, V slow.
yeah, who's opening the door?
Who has the best sneaky
I
sneak?
guess I'll fucking open it.
I don't have good sneaky sneak.
Okay. So as you creep it open, you see that the noise was a rat. It is. I mean, it's pretty big. It's about the size of a cat. It's a pretty big rat. It looks decently old. It's got like some gray shooting through its fur, and it's just almost like it looks at you. See one there in the front, like it takes stock of you, and then either decides you're not a threat or it just doesn't care as it goes back to just eating whatever scraps it's working on.
None
It's
of
kind
you
of
can
blatantly
talk
turns
to
away
this.
from you and starts foraging for more scraps.
I cannot talk to
What?
the rat. I
What
don't
does
know
the
that.
rest of the what does the rest of the room look like?
You see, yeah, it's kind of just going around. It's just rubble, small organic matter. It looks like some other, maybe whatever leavings that Flennis wasn't using, she's probably threw in here. There's like bone bits and some other small scraps. That's what the rat is rooting through. Aside from that, it's empty. You see there's a passage leading off towards the west, but that's all you see in this room.
I bend down and look at the rat and I talk to it like it's like a 2-year-old. Hi, how are you? Do you know anything you can show me?
As when you say the word show, it looks directly at you for a moment. It seems to contemplate. Roll me an animal handling check.
Oh damn. Get it. Get it.
Like it looks almost resigned for a moment, and then it like stands on its hind legs and does a short little dance, and then it goes back down. It looks like expectantly, like it's expecting something.
Give it some food.
Oh, you're.
Wait a minute. What the fuck is going on here? Fuck this rat. This thing's not going to know anything unless someone could speak to animals. I think we should just leave this little guy alone. Or blast him out of existence and search his little rat pockets.
No. He's fine. He wanted to give us a dance. He's a little show off, and that's okay. Good job, buddy.
Do you feed him?
Yeah, I get.
You're cutting in and out with that. I only get you in the first like word or two, and then you're cutting out.
All right, is that better?
Yeah.
There we go. I go. Yeah, I give him a snack, and then I kind of like start to scurry C1 out of the way. Like, come on, let's just keep going.
Yeah, he kind of eyeballs you as you all leave, and kind of like is inquisitively kind of watching where you're going as this you're now a source of food. But you're able to skirt past him. He doesn't bite at you or leave or attack like aggress when you leave the space. Just kind of goes back to his corner, eating his a bit of ration. So that passage
He
goes
knows
off to the
too.
west. You can see there are stairs descending to another passage. Kind of move
there's
into
a
the
door,
room.
and there's a door right here, right above me.
Yeah. Not sure where that one goes. There's a passage that goes off this way. You hear like dripping water kind of from that passage. I think it's probably another flooded area. I'm not quite sure what's down there, but there's also a door up behind you.
Let's go down this passage and check it out.
Yep. Okay. You see down to the west. It goes down. There's some stairs at the end leading into another flooded area. This one looks a little strange in that it doesn't look like it's part of the original design of this sewer. It looks almost like they broke into it either by accident or stumbled upon it. This passage ahead of you is hewn. So it looks like it's connecting to an older existing structure.
Okay. How deep is the water?
2 feet.
All right, I cast light cantrip and continue on down the passage.
Okay. You get to another door. This one is swollen shut with water. You're going to need to kind of shoulder it shut or shoulder it open. If you have, give a perception check if you want to listen for something at the door.
Yes, at least we know if we're gonna go time the second we get in there. What do we got?
It is, as far as you can tell, unoccupied. You hear water kind of moving around, but you don't.
Coda, shh.
You don't hear any movement. You don't hear footsteps or anything like that. There's definitely moving water, but there's no dire threat that you can hear.
All right, guys, we're gonna have to shoulder this open. So we don't hear anything, but get ready. All
Never
right.
know.
Give me an athletics check, please.
From all of us, or just one?
Just whoever's running, who's trying to open the door.
How's that for you, huh? 7.
Yeah, the first one is a heavy thump as just nothing happens. You go for it again. Your shoulder kind of hurts this time. You really get into it, dipping a little bit, and just nothing. At that point, Sherman, you notice it's probably a pull door.
Sure.
I'll say that from the back. It's
Give me an athletics
Poe!
check, Sherman.
Oh, yay! Come on, Sherman. Do your thing. Yeah! Opening doors.
Definitely a pull door.
Yeah, definitely a pull door. Sherman just effortlessly pulls it open, sending a kind of wave of water crashing over most of Sherman's tiny body.
Tiny body.
Within, you see that there are a flooded room. It's pretty narrow. There's rubble piled up, and there's 4 pillars, 2 of which have people tied to them. They're standing on bits of rubble to try and stay out of the water as best they can because they've been here for quite some time. They're the first one you see seems to be another small folk, halfling. Would you like to describe them?
I'm assuming this is me.
It is you.
Yay!
So, the halfling in question is, well, small, because of course. She has very short and very messy hair. You'd think it's because she has been in the dungeon for so long. She just doesn't know that you are supposed to brush short hair. And right now she's kind of asleep, knocked out, because she's been in here for a while and she got really bored.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've been here for a couple of days now. You're on the upper edge of losing your mind. Keeping decent company, at least at first. There's the other figure, much bigger, kind of head scraping the ceiling. Why don't you describe them?
Your assumptions of decent company would be wrong because Braz is only chained at the waist. Meanwhile, he is nose deep into a book as he's flipping through the pages, ignoring everything going on in the room. He's a 6'6" half orc with some greased back hair and some blue robes. He does take a little side glance at the people of Avernus, and he gruffly remarks to them, "Can we please get on with the sacrifice?"
Yeah, there's something incredible. The halfling has no gear. This orc is wearing the tattered robe, but is reading a book. And as you look further down the chamber, you see the hallway to the north lead to another flooded area, and you see a Rube Goldberg machine made of junk and floating like wood in chunks. That this creature has somehow jury-rigged access to their backpack. You see that there's some gear scattered around the northern room, so they're hiding all their stuff. You see about halfway down, there's a spellcasting focus floating, but didn't get that one.
There is the rest of the gear is floated down on the other side of the room, but we got the essential bits. We got the book. That's been keeping us company.
Knowledge.
Yeah, they're they're chained with these
what
heavy-looking padlocks. How would you like to get them out? What would you like to do? The party, this is what you see.
Okay, so does it look like these guys were like chained up like from before?
Yeah, they look like they've been here for a while.
Where on the map are they? Are there tokens on the map? Am I just missing it?
I only have a token for Laura currently.
Got it. I just don't know if I should be going further
have
north.
No, that's where it is.
Like I am in the correct zone.
You're in the correct zone.
Does anyone have locky pickies skills?
I will make you roll for this one. You do have a ring of keys that you took off the Bay Knights.
Oh ho ho.
If you'd like to try for those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's use that.
Yeah, what do we roll for that?
You don't need to roll. You just cycle through all the keys, and the same ones that unlocked the manacles of that noble in the Bay Knight room unlock these as well. So you're able to free them.
Sweet.
All right, so we've got the half orc out, right?
Yes.
Okay, and what's the condition of the rest of these guys?
Ritual, as long as you allow me to read during it.
Yeah. They seem to have taken great care to manacle the hands of the halfling. So it's a little bit more involved to get those off, but you're able to use the same key ring to find additional keys that get those.
Okay. So
the halfling is still like passed the fuck out until somebody actually starts removing the manacles.
Okay, so we get everything off everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So who else was there besides the orc and the halfling?
There is an expired human.
Okay.
They were not lucky enough to find a rubble, and they were chained with like about they're pretty short to begin with. Kind of older man. So the water was almost to his waist, and he was submerged in water for who knows how long.
Drowning
so
long.
His corpse is disgusting.
It's not good.
Bloat!
I say a little prayer for him. Give him a little finger cross. And I said, okay, so we've encountered quite a few hostile cultists in this dungeon here. Do you guys want to help us at least until we get out of here?
I don't understand the question.
I just go like, what? Hello? What? What's up? No, what?
So chances are good that when we walk out of this door, or at some point before we get out of here, we're going to find people that want to kill us. We're going to try to kill them to defend ourselves. Would you guys like to help us kill them? And in turn, thus, we help you guys get out of here at the very least.
Will we have to join your cult?
We don't have a cult.
Just friendship.
I'm here for that. Okay, yeah.
Cult of all friendship.
Yeah,
Hey,
the two
it's
halflings are
powerful.
stoked. Friendship.
Yeah, I mean,
baguette.
you two guys look at, I've always heard that the best mark of a successful adventuring group is the most amount of halflings you can get.
This is a true fact.
I concur.
So, sounds like we really re-rolled to optimization. So, let's.
Halflings are the bestest. Okay?
Here we go.
So as you free them, you see that their gear, you're able to collect the rest of their starting gear along with some other various treasures and trinkets floating in the water of the passage to the north. The rest is in some soggy chests that are propped up on some rocks in the northern chamber. It's probably where they're hiding most of or separated people from their gear when they're sacrificing them.
So, what are your guys' specialties? Orc?
I am a librarian.
All right, cool. So you can go in the front. What's your specialty, my young halfling friend?
Well, I mean, I'm talented at almost everything, really. But I tend to stick with some magic because that is cool and my favorite thing.
All right. I whisper to Coda, this is going to be such a shit show. And then we keep moving.
right,
My tail
so-
pats you on the shoulder like it agrees.
There is the passage to the north, that chamber you find most of their stuff. There's also a sarcophagus up there. So this chamber looks older. It looks like they kind of broke into this. Somebody's been buried here. You see in this middle passage there's the collapsed stairway that may have once led to a surface or a mausoleum of some kind. It's a very, very old looking sarcophagus. The top of it has a exactly. I'm sorry. There's the stone lid is please 16. Yeah. The sarcophagus is open. The lid has been broken into several pieces and is like kind of adjacent to the sarcophagus. You see there's some kind of like carving on the fragments. If you want to pull those out and investigate what the carving originally was.
Yes,
Mhm,
definitely
mhm.
would like to investigate.
So kind of manipulating what might have been in this at one point, you're
Yes,
able to kind
please.
of pull the fragments and kind of align them a little bit on the shallow edge of the water. And you see that it was carved in the likeness of a screaming, axe-wielding barbarian. What languages do you speak, Braz?
Common, Orcish, Celestial, and Infernal. Or sorry, not Infernal, Draconic.
Oh. Actually, it is... I think Draconic uses the same...
I speak Draconic, Celestial, and I speak Common, Celestial, and Infernal.
Yeah, it is written in Common. It's a very, very old dialect. So it's kind of taking me a moment to kind of reconcile what the carving was and kind of get the... I assume we want to take the time to figure out what the carving said.
Oh, absolutely. If it's more knowledge, Braz will actually put away his book in his dry pack, which was stored on top of the wet pack, which had the rest of his equipment. But inside the dry pack are a various amount of books. It's like, if we could hold the Civil War of your cult, I would like to read this.
As you kind of investigate and take a moment to translate, the whatever name or like title was on the top of the coffin is kind of worn off from age. At the bottom, you can vaguely make out kind of inscription that roughly reads, "Olaf, if you touch my axe from beyond the grave, I will strike at thee."
I don't blame her.
It appears to be a
the-
warning message towards Olaf about leaving an axe alone.
There is a black sludge-covered corpse in the sarcophagus. That you do see there is indeed some sort of metal glint within the corpse and bones that kind of melted into the body.
Okay. Nothing valuable.
Unless you want to go digging in the corpse.
Black slime. No. Just
I
died?
take out the flail and use that to push around the corpse a little bit.
You kind of flip the handle around. And all right. Roll for initiative.
Oh shit.
As there's a kind of burst of arcane energy from the sarcophagus. Okay, so those of you in the room, yeah, see one's adjacent. Which is where you would be if you're investigating all of this. Well, let's see if this works. Then... why is my initiative tracker so? So Sherman, as you are in the room, you see that from these, like, you unearth the handle of a great axe, and as you do so, a spectral version of that axe manifests above the coffin, means swinging wildly. Sherman, you're acting first.
Okay. So you said like it's like a spectral weapon. Can I stab blindly at it?
You sure can try.
Cool. Okay. I'll try that. Does that? Can you see that? Or do I have to call
I
it
can
out
see that.
again?
You got it. So you strike at this ethereal object, and your spear. There's some substance to it, but you do not believe that you've done any damage to it.
Okay. Would that be because it's not magic?
You have no idea.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I'm gonna move.
Ignore
No,
that.
am I engaged with this spectral thing?
I mean, you're within 5 feet of it.
Alright, I'm gonna lean back real far. Just as far as I can lean back on the wall. And that's
Okay.
me.
Excellent. Next on initiative 20, the axe is going to swing down at C1.
Warding flare.
Okay, that unfortunately seems to has no effect on it, this object. Was a 19 hit?
Why doesn't my warding flare have effect?
It is not a creature.
So warding flare doesn't work on undead or anything like that?
Undead are creatures. I'll explain in a moment more fully.
Yeah.
I don't want to give it away exactly. Yeah. The flare seems to have no effect. Yep. You can take 8 points of force damage, and it is now. Oh no, I see. Sorry. Should have C1. C1 or Maluma. Let's go first.
Did you say it's my turn?
Yeah, you or Maluma. Whoever wants to go first.
Oh, I'll go first.
Okay.
So I'm standing right next to that thing, right?
Yeah. So to make it, you can use your action to try and figure out what the hell this thing is, if you'd like.
Yeah.
Roll an Arcana check with advantage. DC is 15 plus spell level. Yeah. So you believe that this is some sort of strange iteration of spiritual weapon.
I see.
This is a force object. Then you would, as an innate spellcaster who has a spell on their list, you would know that the only way to get rid of it to be dispel it or to outrun it.
Is it going to be tied to this thing?
You have a feeling probably, but then again, you usually don't see this without a caster, so you're not quite sure.
Okay. No way to dispel it. So I'm going to tell everybody that we just need to back out of the room as quickly as possible. So
I think that's a good move.
That's the
All
first thing I'm going to try to do.
You can leave the axe in the sarcophagus, or you want to grab it on your way out.
Do I want to leave the axe in the sarcophagus?
Yeah, the actual one that's in there.
So is this thing in the air an axe?
Yes.
Oh. You guys want to try to fight this thing first? This axe is probably pretty fucking powerful.
I think it's not worth the battle. I think it'd be better for everyone to like disengage and try to complete whatever we were set out here to do in the first place than go
Nope.
after this act.
Yeah, nobody's got the capacity of being able to just completely stop this from happening. We're
Well,
fighting
you cast spells.
air.
You cast spells, it'll affect it.
That's
Just
the big
not
thing
gonna
is I
hit it
don't,
with a normal weapon.
I don't have a lot of
No,
magic
with your
damage.
knowledge, you need either dispel magic or disintegrate.
Oh, so not even like spells are gonna damage it?
No, it's not. It is the object of force. It has no hit points. It has no AC. It is an object that is while the spell is active. Kind of like your spiritual weapon can't op attack. It's not a creature. It can't be targeted. It's a magical effect.
All right. I'm out.
We can always come back later when better equipped.
Mm-hmm.
You back out. So who's left in that room? Braz, do you want to stay in the room?
No.
All right, you book it. All right, I get one more free attack on Sherman before Sherman gets to move. 17 get you, Sherman?
Nope.
All right, it swings down at you, and your nimble little form is able to dodge to the way and leave the room. A round goes by, it does not chase. It cannot leave the room.
Aha! Safe.
But it looks very angry, and is swinging around wildly inside that room.
Dude, let's tune up
As
some
if
fucking
wielded
magic.
by a massive,
Let's
angry...
tune up some
orc
magic, you pansies, and go and kill it and get that fucking axe. What if that axe is an automatic spiritual weapon summon?
What if it's just a regular axe?
What if it's just an axe?
Roll a
That's
perception
cursed.
check. A retroactive perception check real quick. See one.
Okay. Oh,
I am
C1, go.
confused. Are you not part of the Three Return Gods cult?
You could see that there was some of the sludge had started to get into whatever leather was left on the handle, and it starting to rot. It was definitely mundane. It was masterfully made and filigreed, and it looked very solid. It definitely did not have the durability of a magic item.
Well, there you
okay.
freaking go.
It's just the spirit of an angry barbarian.
Okay. Well, then that worked out good. And I don't feel like we just left treasure on the table. You guys go ahead and feel free to check me. I don't know if I'm playing my character right as far as that treasure goes, but I'm fucking back in the treasure hunting mode now that I know it's a thing again.
Okay, fair enough.
All right,
I
so
just
you're able to
want
pull
to
out of that
raid.
room without any further attacks. That is what was in that corner. So you've now cleared one branch of the Dungeon of the Dead 3. But no, Braz asked you a question a moment ago.
No, dude, we're not part of the cult, dude. That's why we saved you, or else we would have sacrificed your dumbass.
Sherman very loudly is just screaming, "No!" Not at all. Never in my whole life have I ever decided anything like that.
Well, I appreciate the save. I was getting real fucking bored in there. It was so boring.
You're also emaciated and dehydrated, but I guess you have your priorities.
Boring. There was literally like nothing fun to do. I didn't have my games or anything. It was just sitting in water, and once in a while, this boring dude would talk about his book. I don't care.
Again, I have several encyclopedias to share.
I'm not gonna lie, Braz. You kind of seem a little boring, but I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and hope that there's something good in those books that's gonna help us get our asses out of here alive.
It's like 20 pages about the history of locks. It's boring.
All right.
Excellent. So you're able to backtrack a little bit to the other door. Let me give Braz control this to open real quick. Assign 2. Braz. Half orcs have dark vision, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Did we end up
Braz
doing
sight.
anything with Mr. Rat? Or are we just leaving the rat there to be a
I'll leave
witness?
him here. I go back in here to grab the skulls or whatever's something left of Vectos and our other
Yeah,
fallen.
everyone's fine. I mean, the majority of the
Brother
corpse is still
too.
there. It's you see the like the not disintegration, the decomposition of the body has rapidly accelerated.
I just grabbed something so
Looks
we
like he's
can
been
give him
dead a
some.
week as he walked. You've been
Sweet.
gone like minutes.
We're gonna give him some last rites when we get back on out of here.
Excellent.
Also,
So
I would like to throw out there that if there's anything that can be salvaged from Yasha's body, you know that he would be okay with you doing that. Earthly possessions are just social constructs.
yeah, any trinkets that you possessed that you are mentioning specifically?
Money.
Yeah, I'm assuming
Money.
that was a given. Is what I was assuming.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely
Also,
took their money. No
Yeah,
offense, guys.
yeah. You can't take it with you. Leave 2 coppers
if
for the ferryman to the River Styx, and then the rest is yours.
Yes, please. That's the one
Exactly.
thing. If I had any healing potions left over, and then also
none
I know
anymore.
I had like a religious symbol that is also grabbable. But
Okay,
that's
I'm
about
gonna
it.
take that, and that's what I'm gonna bury in a hole for you.
Perfect, thank you. Yash is very touched.
And then I'm gonna take Vectos's headband.
Before we walk away, Yosh had given me a seed, and I don't really know what it was for, but I would assume he wouldn't be mad if I put that seed where his body was being buried.
Oh, please
Nice.
do.
Very, very, very thoughtful.
Yep.
The rat is now like in the doorway, like watching all of you as it now knows the Malum is food. But aside from that, there's a door to the north, or sorry, the northeast, the one you didn't go up to.
I
Let's go
dropped
there.
some crumbs too to make sure that the rat doesn't come and eat the seed that I just planted.
Well, I mean,
No,
you
you're not
probably want to take their bodies
not
and bury them on the
Yeah, you
surface
probably
somewhere.
should. Yeah, the seed's gonna die if it's not near, light.
Light. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I hear
we're not
Yash's
burying them.
voice and like in the back of my mind say that, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, that's smart.
Yeah, the voice of reason. Yeah, so there's a passage up there. Do you want to check out that door to the north?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so whoever's in front, give me that perception check. So I'm going to switch into Mad Mage mode and assume a standard operating procedure. I'll ask for an investigation if I need one. Don't save as an omen. I'm going to ask randomly sometimes too. So door seems untrapped. You haven't encountered any trap doors down here so far. With a 13, nothing strange. You do get like similarly where you can tell that there's a flooded chamber. The chamber beyond, like there's dust under the door. Like it must be dry enough for. It's always been pretty humid and gross, but this whatever is ahead of you must be a dry area. There's a lot of like fine white dust. It smells a little bit like bleach.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
Cocaine.
Would any of your characters have had extensive worked on a farm? Any slaughtering, butchering?
I
Hi.
definitely grew up in a farm my entire
Yeah.
life.
Like you, when breaking apart bones and things and dressing down bodies, you've either burned or like singed or kind of chipped a bone before, and that kind of bleachy smell. It smells like bone dust.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
that's gross. Yeah.
I'll make sure
That
the group
damages
knows
your
that.
lungs.
Yeah.
Really?
Bone dust damages your lungs very bad.
I imagine there's a lot of things down here that damage us.
I wore a mask when I did all that. So yeah, that door is not trapped. It's not locked. You're able to open it pretty quickly. Head, let me open that for you.
Amazon wasn't around back then, bro. So when you bought shovels and duct tape and all that stuff, they weren't like recommended dust mask.
Yeah. Now just my own paranoia. Also, it smells bad. I gotta hate the smell of bone dust. So yeah. So as you head up, Raz, you can see directly opposite you. This chamber is dry, partially collapsed, and contains a stone altar with humanoid skulls and bones piled around it. The top of the altar is covered with dozens of half-melted candles made of black wax, all currently unlit. They're kind of misshapen and weirdly formed. But it is dark in this room.
Braz, clinking and clanking, as you now see underneath his blue robes is a set of chainmail. Looks back to everyone else. I would recommend someone goes ahead of me. I am loud.
I'll go. I'm small.
Bless you.
Or, excuse me.
He does not deserve to be blessed.
So, yeah, it's very dusty in that room. So move yourselves along the tokens here. Throw up so you don't get lost. So yeah, you move yourself into the chamber. Here you can see a little more clearly as you're moving forward into it. You can tell that the candles are all not exactly misshapen, but purposely formed to mimic the various bones of a human body. You see like a femur, you see an ulna, you see various bone-shaped
It's
candles.
not horrifying at all.
Nah, they look pretty metal. But C1, do you still have the light spell up?
Yes.
Okay, as you step into the room, Yeah. You see that the candles, now that your passive is a little more clear, the candles were recently lit. You're not sure what that's about, but they were recently lit.
Oh, okay.
And you hear that dry chuckle in the back of your head that you heard in the other room.
Is it the same dry chuckle from that fucking chucklehead that fucking resurrected everybody?
That's the one.
Danny, would you give us a dry chuckle?
Ah.
Nice.
At
least sets the mood.
And you have a strange urge to light the candles.
Don't light the candles.
Don't do it.
I light my candle instead.
Does that still count?
Well, sure. So nothing jumps out at you. But I'll say in that that magical light from your candle, it kind of illuminates something in the wicks of the black candles. There's something special about them.
Okay.
Deeper look.
Is there any writing, scriptures, books, scrolls, anything on the walls?
They are currently seen, no.
Well, what do you guys think? Should
not
we
lighting
follow
those
these
candles.
or should we just proceed?
Can we like inspect them further?
Yeah. I would
Sure.
like that.
I mean, they look like candles.
Well, I mean, like the
smell
room,
a
maybe.
little strange, given where they are. You're not sure where they sourced the tallow, but
Locally sourced, eco-friendly.
yeah, dungeon friendly. Yeah, there is a matchbook on the table.
Can I challenge my knowledge to see if I know about this sort of ritual?
Sure. Roll an intelligence check.
That's a 16.
Yeah, none of this really ticks any bells for a ritual, but based on the black wax and the strange wicks, you think that when these burn, they probably give off a strange colored light, and that kind of interests you.
What if we just light one?
No.
Just one to see what happens.
No. People, I have been stuck in this dungeon for days, bored out of my mind, and I'm not about to get killed by some dumbass candle in the corner. We are moving on. We are being smart.
You are faced with the accruement of knowledge, and you call that boring. I agree. Let's light one.
No!
Ho ho ho!
Not.
As
don't have
this
it.
discussion is going on, my tail has already pulled out a match and lit one.
Can I
Perfect.
roll to fucking tackle her tail?
Yeah, why don't you both roll me just flat dexterity checks?
I just want to see a stealth check first before.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
we
Give me
even
sleight of
get a
hand.
roll.
Actually, sleight of hand makes more sense. Sleight of tail, if you will. Yeah, that'll beat everybody's passive. As Coda starts just snaking over, and it's kind of like one of those like rubber hose animation where like the tail like coils, picks up a match and like strikes it against the table, like lights it in one motion.
Exactly.
It lights the candle and it glows a very vibrant green. That seems to color the room. And looking around with your passives, Braz, your kind of intuition kicks in, and they have colored lights, the dark walls of this chamber. You see against the wall close to the altar, it seems to be like you see something beginning to reveal itself, but all the other light in the room is kind of blocking out what it might reveal.
Douse the lights. Can we douse the
no.
lights, please?
Yeah, Vane just like fucking books it to that candle and like tries to turn it off immediately.
Yeah, I mean you're able to snuff it out if you'd like. It's just a candle.
No, wait.
Yes, but
There's
I'm
writing.
doing it with a lot of panic.
The imagery that is being shown in the glow of the candle, is it artwork? Is it writing? Like what
It
exactly
looks
does
almost
little
like
bit
writing,
look like?
but without dousing the light spell, you can't be sure.
So if I turn on dancing lights, would that be enough
No,
of a
you
glow
want
for me to
it's
see?
it's being revealed with the exact shade of the candle. So
I
the light
see.
spell that C1 has up is flooding the room with white light.
Turn that shit off.
C1, can you please snuff that?
I turn off my cantrip.
And then Braz, you're able to just hold the candle above Vane's head with like 4 feet of clearance.
I just try to jump to get it. It is just, I am very angry at this point. Like, are you legitimately doing this right now?
And assuming you are legitimately doing this,
I don't even glance down. I'm trying to read the wall as I mutter. That's not even a word.
The phrase begins to reveal itself against the green light. Forwards, rise and be counted, are painted on the wall behind the altar.
That sounds like a sacrifice.
Certainly does. Would you hold this as I pass it to
Yes.
someone else other than Fane?
I follow it and keep jumping to try to grab it.
And I'll
Calvin,
keep writing down
as you're like
in a
seeing
journal
this,
notes.
and you're reading it aloud, like in your mind, like in your inner monologue, and it sounds like that high whispering voice, and you kind of have to stifle yourself from saying the words out loud.
This dude's just gonna be in my kitchen for the rest of this fucking adventure, dude.
You're in his room.
Is this the guy that brought me back? Is that who you're talking? The voice?
It's important to note that none of you who were raised saw Merkel there. But yes.
Okay, well, if that's the same voice that spoke to me that brought me back
Oh,
from
it didn't
the
speak
darkness.
to you. He just pulled you back.
Oh, I thought he said something to me too. While I was in the darkness, he just put a hand out. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, he felt something reaching for you to pull you back.
Do I sense that it's the same person? Like, do I get the feeling?
You feel, that same kind of cold feeling you had kind of pervades this room.
Okay, so at this point, I trust that voice. I trust that person because he brought me back. So if I'm getting that feeling, then I want to do what he's telling me to do.
Nice dissolve.
As you say the words, rise and be counted out loud. From behind you, the bones begin to animate and form into 3 skeletons that stand at their full height and just are all staring at Malum.
Wave at them. Tell them hello.
I fall to my knees and I tell them, what can I do for you?
They don't respond.
I look up at C1 and I'm just really confused at this point.
They aren't moving. They're just standing.
I think you've perhaps summoned them. Try giving them a command.
Maybe don't.
Tell them to jump up and down.
I put up my right hand and I tell them to. I see if they copy me. Do they copy me if I put up my right hand without talking?
They do not.
I tell them, "Can you say hello?" And I wave at them.
This is not Simon Says.
They don't say anything, but they wave at you.
Give them
Maybe it
hugs.
is
Make them give us
Simon
hugs.
Okay.
Do it.
I
I want them all to dance.
I slowly and curiously go up to one of them and I tell them that I'm not there to hurt them, and I go to touch one.
You're able to?
I turn around really excited at the rest of the
Yes.
group. Okay. I don't know. What do I do now? And Coda's up, kind of perched up behind me, behind my head, and my hands are kind of out, to my side. What do I do now?
Tell them to walk in
When
front.
Malone turns to all of you to say, "What do I do now?" You see Coda snap to attention, kind of pose a point to the back of Maloom's head, and you see all the skeletons all stand at attention.
Okay.
Coda's got this under control, as per usual. Malone, let Coda take care of it, please.
I turn around to see what Coda did, and I turn around.
Yeah, they're all standing at attention now.
Yeah. Okay. Where do we go? Let's go.
Yeah, there's stairs leading down from this chamber. You hear running kind of sloshing water, and as you there's stairs leading down towards the east.
Okay. I look at everybody. I go, "Come on, guys! I think we got it." And I kind of, as we're going down the hall, and I tell the skeletons, I'm like, "Come on, guys, let's go." I start singing, "We're following the leader, the leader, the leader. We're following the leader."
Yeah, the skeletons do follow behind almost jauntily.
Fantastic.
I roll my eyes at Coda.
but not before they leave the room, though. You see they all kind of rummage around the stuff in here, and before they leave, are equipped with these cruel, rusty-looking scimitars and some rudimentary ranged weapons.
Are we talking like some rusty shit, like out of like the Seven Sinbad and the Seven Seas here,
Oh yeah,
or did I just date myself?
I got
What's
the reference.
that?
It's both, honestly.
You never date Sinbad.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you definitely you have 3 skeleton followers that will follow you until they don't.
I'm just picturing like the jankiest skeletons ever, like those janky ass fucking stop motion skeletons they had in that movie.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. These are piecemeal. They're definitely not all from the same corpse. They're a little off. They couldn't afford the real skeletons. They got some budget ones.
Perfect.
So you got those guys following you. As you head down those steps to the west, there is a smell that hits you about halfway down the steps, like rotten eggs. So it's just putrid. Everybody, give me a survival check if you would. If you want to try and find the source of this.
12.
12. That's enough. Vane, being ever paranoid and close to the ground, it smells like farts, like egg farts, but it also smells a lot like flammable gas.
Oh.
Oh boy, guys, this is not a good idea. At the very least, if you have fire, don't bring it here. I don't want to explode. I want to see the light, the sunlight again, not the exploding light.
I immediately look at Coda. And I'm like,
There's a
nah.
splash as
Listen
Coda
to
drops a book
me.
of matches.
What?
No. I look over and I say, I think we got this. And I go, skeleton buddy. I look at one of them. I go, can you find the source of this?
It like you see the ancient bone gears turning in its head as it walks down the landing, walks down the steps, and then just points into the room.
Okay.
It has identified the source of the smell.
Well, that's not gonna help. So, guys, let's just not
They
light
are still
anything on
just
fire.
skeletons.
And I grab my tail and I go, I promise Coda won't light anything here.
As you kind of descend further, so move yourselves down this chamber to the side. There are you see floating torch stubs. Like you think people who pass through here also put out torches or put out any candles they were carrying. As we need to step into the water here. It's yeah.
Where are the people who lit those though, or put them out?
That's good. Well, probably a dead cultist body around here somewhere.
Do we see
We're about
any
to find
dead
out.
bodies?
No. The roof is also intact, so you think no. But this is probably in a gas buildup from an adjacent sewer or whatever they tapped into here. This room is just filled with that. There is a door to the west that you can intuit leads to the Bane chamber, the Baneite altar that you found before. And then there is a dead end up to the north and another passage to the west.
Let's head down the passage to the west.
Okay, that'd be this one up here.
Please tell me this is the
Or
way
sorry,
out.
east. Sorry, I'm bad at directions. The one to the west is where the Baneites were. I'll move that so you can actually see it.
What's behind this mysterious door?
No, go east. Let's see if we can find more shit before we fight the
Okay,
last.
so going down past that, the water continues. You see actually another set of stairs that are leading up and out of the water to the east in this next room. The smell of the gas buildup lessens the further you get from this central chamber. So following that little eastern passage and then following it down to those stairs gets you out of the smell entirely.
Okay.
So it seems to be concentrated in that chamber up there. So that'll bring you all. I'll drag the skeletons along with y'all. I'll just assume they're following.
Does the gas seem to be coming from the west?
It seems
Or
to
is
be
it
coming
just this?
from somewhere in this chamber. You assume there's probably a fissure or something where it's bubbling up from. They probably tapped into a natural gas pocket. Doesn't seem to have a specific source.
Turns out they didn't have fucking 611 or whatever the fuck you dial before you dig a hole.
Absolutely not. Yeah, so you're able to follow this passage that leads down to here, to the stairs lead up and out. And you see this also reminds you of the chamber where you found the great axe trap. That it looks like they've tapped into something. The main hallway looks like it was part of the original this construction, but there are passages off to the left and right of this chamber, this hallway, sorry, that seem to have been like excavated into. This would be as old as the other tomb we found, so that'd be down here. If you want to continue moving the train.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Yep. Cool.
For the first time in my life, I feel proud of something, so I'm proudly going, telling everybody, let's just go, as my little skeleton army's following.
Oh, sorry, Braz. Yeah, so just move further to the south, and that'll let you see on the hallway.
I've seen the void.
I was trying to grab the map. Yeah, so Sherman, you can kind of see that
Over
little corner
here?
there. No, over. I'll move it down there. Yeah, down here.
Who is our stealthiest?
Not me. I should not be in front. Clank.
There's a lot of clanking and clunking.
Am I the stealthiest now?
You or Maloom?
I'm
Probably.
pretty stealthy. I'm all right.
Say with Bard's probably stealthy. Paladin's
Yeah, jack of all trades. So kind of going down to here, you see that there are some partially excavated corridors, some alcoves, and then there are doors further you go down.
All right.
If you want to try the first door.
Yes, with our standard procedure, please.
Yep. So give me that perception
Okay.
check.
Smack.
We should have someone stealthily open it.
Sherman's gonna move away from that door.
Maloon?
Guessing with help.
Sorry, I'm trying to get
fine. Don't hear much behind it.
Trying to get it moved.
Just silence. You're able to push it open. It's not locked or trapped. You see a collapsed chamber. The debris has fallen in on the sarcophagus, shattering and kind of covering whatever might have been in it at one point. These appear to be the same age as the one you found previously with the trap. There's another door further. There's two more doors immediately following this set of alcoves. So there's one to the north, one to the south. Give me 2 perception checks for those doors. Whoever's in front.
I will roll for that. Nat 20.
Excellent. You are unable to hear anything on either door. They seem fine. The door to the north is a completely collapsed alcove, but the door to the south there is not collapsed. You see that there is an open sarcophagus in the back of this dusty crypt. There is a heavy stone lid that's lying on its side between the sarcophagus and the far wall. Whatever carving is on it is facing away from you towards the wall. The sarcophagus has been thoroughly plundered. As far as you can tell, there is a very beautiful fresco that's just been thrashed with age. That has spear-wielding warriors charging across golden plains on a horseback. And give me another perception check.
Okay.
Anybody wants to admire the artwork or kind of investigate this whole scene?
I would love to admire the artwork for knowledge.
6.
Sherman really loves art. Great.
I'm too distracted by literally everything else to notice the art.
Yeah. So you're
I
kind
got
of
a
looking
14.
around the artwork. Maloom, you don't really notice it, but Coda does. As Coda points it out, there's kind of not centered, but kind of off to the right in the kind of focus of the fresco. There's two riders that are very close to each other, and you see one is reaching off their horse, and their spear is like seems to be like fishing something off another rider's belt.
Interesting. And it's just happening in the painting. Is anything in the painting like I can grab off of it? Does it look like, or is that
No,
just
no,
a
it just seems to
painting
be just
of them?
art. And as you look throughout and kind of the rest of you checking the room, you see the other side of the coffin. It has a depiction of a warrior with a spear and a grin on his face. And the inscription at the bottom, if you clean it up, says, "Here lies Olaf, a thief."
Why would they honor such a thief? Like, why would anyone want to honor a thief?
The painting is a very cheeky grin, and so does the kind of carving.
This is the same aforementioned that the warding was preventing against. In all fairness, it would be hypocritical to judge Olaf so, since we did the exact same thing the warding message told us not to do.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. So that's all I find.
Touche.
As you're kind of
Fair.
thoroughly checking the crypt, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
With that 14 Maloom, you don't notice anything that you can mess with on the carving, which kind of frustrates Coda, and is kind of tapping impatiently. And there's like tap tap, and then kind of a cracking sound as Coda breaks through the false plaster bottom in the crypt.
Nice.
The plaster reveals a cavity that has a shallow pool of reddish brine and a moderately well-preserved human corpse. There are two valuable-looking gems embedded in the eye sockets of this preserved corpse.
Do not steal the gems, please.
Does anything about that setup look dangerous?
I mean, it looks a bit like a mummy, and like not like the stat block mummy. Like this person's been preserved intentionally. So that means they're hollow inside. The gems, there's no eyeballs. They put gems in there. It's kind of a you can take it with you kind of thing. You think Olaf probably want to be buried with this treasure.
Yeah, no, this seems like a setup then.
Mummified corpse, what I should have started with.
Are there any books?
Nope.
I wish I had a fire spell. I'd light it on fire, but that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, but if you're not going to do anything with the corpse, there is nothing in this room besides that. Right,
No,
there's two
I'm
more
good.
doors. One similar to this one. It's on the southern side, and then a bigger door that leads out into another chamber, you assume. So give me one last perception check for the alcove, the last alcove. Whoever's going to be there in front.
All right, I'll go.
So assuming someone's assisting you. Yeah, it's fine. You do hear there's shuffling and kind of moaning. That room is definitely occupied, and with your 13 and being of the divine persuasion, you're pretty sure that room is full of undead. Just shuffling, mindless undead.
All right, so I'll let everybody know. We probably need to go in here and check it out, so we probably should get ready here.
Well, noting the door and the door to your east, you believe that this is probably another one of the sarcophagus rooms, not another way deeper into this dungeon.
So we could bypass it if we want.
You believe so.
Unless there's treasure.
Unless there's treasure.
Well, we just passed some treasure, so let's just get out of here.
And
Yeah,
no,
this
you hear like not. I'm not talking like there's like two. There's at least a half dozen creatures beyond this door.
Is there any
Yeah.
way we could
Occupied.
trap them in there with fire or?
Hi.
I mean,
Just a friendly reminder. There's literally no treasure here that is worth it. We should just leave. We should just go.
how do you know that, little one?
Because
She might be a
I've been
cultist.
down here for days.
You've
You
been
think that
locked up to a pillar.
I mean, okay, do you think the cultists don't just like snicker and think and say like, "Oh, those freaking idiots tried to get those treasure again. Of course they died. Ha 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 ha." You hear shit and you know they do this on purpose.
I disagree. I think they left that undead there to try to guard whatever treasure they had in that room.
Also, you're forgetting we're special. Bad things just won't happen to us. Just trust.
Yeah,
I-
we won't TPK it.
It'll be fine.
I am
Nice people always
honor bound to help y'all, but I will do my best to tell you guys, please don't.
We could just open this thing up and I could just hit a turn undead immediately.
can like very slowly open the door and throw something just through the crack. Yeah. Whoosh.
That is
I
acceptable.
don't know, dude.
How about a fire trap in front of the door? We open it, and then we'll create a funnel for them.
Ah, I see.
Fire is not the best option because you know what else fire burns? Us.
We can all take like a little alcove, and as they come in, we go surprise, and we each stab them.
Now, like right
And
here,
then, and then
where
I
we
could
are.
have my candle pre-lit and just blast the guiding bolts, or I could lead off with a burning hands.
So like what we could do is we could have C1 like crack open the door, do his turn undead, then right where we got Sherman, we just funnel them into there where Braz and I can't see your name now. Fane are.
Yeah,
then we'll
if
take
you
them on, like, two at a
want to have
time.
Sherman dodge tank while the rest of you blast from the corners, that's completely doable.
Well, Sherman can then fall back behind me, and then like you guys are at range, and you can like stab them or shoot at them from behind us, unless well, no, Sherman's melee.
I
Yeah.
can drop my light too and cast Shield of Faith on Sherman to give Sherman a +2 to armor class as well.
Right. So Fane can get behind me, and someone can run past to behind run past behind to Maloom.
I like that plan. I
Mm-hmm.
like that plan. I think I'm gonna have to take a dab first, but I like that plan.
Bottleneck them.
All right, Sherman, what's your AC?
Right now?
With the +2.
My skeleton
21.
friends are a little upset that you guys would leave them out of this plan. There's 3 of these guys here that really want to do a good job for me.
They can
Excellent
shoot from a
fucking
distance.
point.
They got bows.
Yeah.
Let's use the skeletons to protect our
Danny
back
said they
line
have.
so
they
they
have
don't
range.
get
wait,
caught
but
and turn
now-
undead.
We can throw the skeletons at probably in the Bane room. There's going to be another caster. Why not throw them at him so that way they can soak up spell slots.
Now, wait, do you think we could send them in there for negotiation?
They can't talk though. Right?
Oh, see, I don't know. Is there
We can
some
teach them how to charade.
Hey,
How do you know they don't talk? How do you know they don't like do their skeleton talking? Like they click together their bones.
So
Because
Like,
I'm
that's how
a
they
motherfucking
communicate.
racist.
This is not the Disney special.
I don't think they can talk. I don't.
maybe it's Morse code,
Fight me.
you know, with clicking and stuff.
our
Right now, you're-
vibrations.
Right now, you're being very discriminatory against skeletons.
Skellies.
All skellies matter, and right now you are
Skellies
not
is a
giving them.
slur, you
They
guys.
could be
God.
illiterate.
I
should
come
know.
out. I'm racist against the Skellies.
If you would like my 2 cents,
Please.
you have
Hmm.
Sherman take 1 step down, cast Shield of Faith. Sherman just dodge tanks. Put Calvin directly behind Sherman, blasting infinite guiding bolts.
Pew 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 pew.
Baz and Fane, whoever wants to be on those 2 edges, can also just shoot range into the room. They're all funneled. That'd be your best chance.
I'm gonna try. Vane is going to try to stay away from the combat, but I will try to provide some support.
I say Fane get behind me and we funnel them because I don't have a lot of range and we can put on more attacks that way with it. Now that way
What
though
the
means
fuck
if I
are
go down,
you,
then Fane's at
Clarky?
risk.
What is that character? What is your character?
I'm a fighter.
Okay.
We're gonna go Eldritch Knight at third, but
Nice.
All right. So let's do that. Shield of Faith, Sherman.
Bing.
Are we
My AC
rolling
is now
initiative?
21.
Now, I'm just going to roll a discriminant number of 2d20s and see if any of them would hit Sherman. At disadvantage, +3. Nope. Yeah, we'll call it a wash. So burn him off the candle, and you're all good.
Yay, Sherman.
Ooh.
Taking hits like you know you can.
Dodge tanking is a hell of a thing. Okay. So there were about a half dozen zombies in there, which did not stand a chance. I'm not going to put them on the map because they'll just block up space. That chamber, after the smoking remains of the undead are cleared out, have a sarcophagus. There is another fresco, this one depicting ghastly images of human cannibalism. The sarcophagus was plundered years ago, and the interior yields not but a jawless human skull and a few bone fragments. I think this is where they just penned up the zombies, you think?
Okay.
I'm gonna push on the fresco.
It's soft now because all the humidity, but no secret door or nothing.
Any secret doors at all in here?
Nope.
Like, can we roll for perception or anything?
Sure.
No.
You'd be like to. No, I'm telling you, there's nothing in here.
Okay.
I turn the sarcophagus. I throw everything around.
Just some magical
well, that's
candle
just
smoke.
rude.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that was good tactical practice. On to the next place. Or is
Excellent.
that it?
Yeah, that is yeah. So yeah, going forward, like I would do that kind of thing in Mad Mage all the time. Like I'll trade you this for that.